There's more than one reason to celebrate. Let's go on a journey. And count the ways as we take you to experience a different side of the world's cultures. Adventure awaits on Festivals of the World. Songkran. The Songkran Water Festival, or simply Songkran, is Thai New Year's celebration. Songkran comes from a Sanskrit word which means to pass or to move into. It is a national holiday and the festival starts every 13th of April and usually ends on the 15th. In some areas in Thailand, the festival begins a few days earlier and would last for a whole week. Songkran also marks the start of summer and the beginning of the new solar year. Traditionally, water is poured on Buddha images, making the water blessed. And the blessed water that cleaned the images is sprinkled on other people who visit Buddhist temples. This is observed as a way of paying respect and bringing good fortune. The water pouring also represents purification and washing away sins and bad luck. Visitors of local temples usually offer food to the Buddhist monks. Some people also go back home and reunite with their families because Songkran is also observed as a festival of unity. The younger people also pay respects to their elders by pouring water onto their palms. The most popular feature of this festival is the huge water fights on the streets in Thailand's biggest cities like Chiang Mai and Bangkok. Unless you lock yourself inside your room while the celebrations are ongoing, there's no chance that you will stay dry. You may also get covered in chalk, a custom among monks who use chalk to mark blessings. Of course, to enjoy this festival to the fullest, be a good sport. You are encouraged to go out in the streets and splash water at people, even if you don't know them, because they'll also splash water on you. Equip yourself with loaded water guns and full water containers and be ready to get soaked. Both locals and foreigners are actively participating in huge street water fights. You'll find people merely squirting water in your faces, but some will actually pour buckets of water on unsuspecting passersby. Many people would also come up to you and smear wet chalk or clay on your face. The festival is celebrated on April, where the hot weather is on its peak, so being drenched in cool water is actually fun. High energy levels are also a must because this celebration is 3 days non-stop. Make sure that you have a waterproof bag to hold any valuables you bring because people will not stop splashing water at you whatever you do. Splashing dirty or murky water, ice, and hot water is also not allowed. Dress comfortably if you plan to get involved in the action. Some clothes tend to get heavy when they become wet, so choose what you wear carefully. While it's fun to splash water on other people, you must also be careful to avoid monks. police officers, elderly, toddlers, and babies from getting drenched. They are the only ones allowed to stay dry in this 3-day fest. Songkran is clearly a fun occasion. But let's not forget that it is still a religious festival, not a mere water-throwing bonanza. And remember Songkran's spiritual meaning and what its purpose really is. Happy Songkran! Art Basel. Art Basel is a yearly international art fair held in Basel, Miami Beach, and Hong Kong. It usually showcases modern and contemporary artwork by both established and developing artists. Each art fair lasts for 3 to 4 days. Art Basel Hong Kong is scheduled on March, Art Basel in Basel on June, and Art Basel in Miami on December. Art Basel is an event that gives galleries and artists an opportunity to present and sell their works to collectors, museum directors, and curators, which is why it was founded in 1970 by art gallerists in Basel, Switzerland, and it has been successful every year since it was first launched. In 2002, Art Basel expanded in Miami Beach, and in Hong Kong in 2013, in order to reach more artists and art galleries from different parts of the world. You are going to love the diversity and the exhibits because Art Basel doesn't just present what you typically see in museums. You can see the most peculiar of artworks on display. There are different sectors that divide each Art Basel exhibit. There is the galleries sector, where the leading modern and contemporary art galleries display their best artworks created by many different artists. Exhibited works include paintings, sculptures, photography, installations, film, video, and digital art. The Nova sector, on the other hand, features many artworks all made by just one artist. Position sector is an avenue where curators, art critics, and collectors flock to discover new talented artists from all over the world by allowing them to present one major project. An edition sector is also there, where visitors can see editioned works, prints, and multiple exhibit collaborations with well-known artists. Visitors can feast their eyes on significant and rare publications. If you love audio visuals, there is also a film sector where visitors can watch featured films. In Miami Beach, you can watch the films outdoors. And there's also the cabinet sector, which happens to be a favorite among art experts, because it gives the gallery sector's exhibitors an opportunity to get even more creative by making special exhibitions in their booth. Explore different exhibits from different sectors and indulge yourself in one-of-a-kind art pieces. Whether in Miami, Basel, or Hong Kong, Art Basel lives up to its reputation of exhibiting quality modern and contemporary art. So feast your eyes to the amazing artworks and get blown away. Carnival of Venice. The Venice Carnival is an annual festival held in Venice, Italy. It usually begins about 2 weeks before Ash Wednesday and ends on Fat Tuesday, the day before Ash Wednesday. Just like other carnivals in the world, the Venice Carnival is a pre-Lenten season festival where meat, fatty, and sugary foods are not allowed. So the word carnival came from the Latin words that meant farewell to meat. The Carnival of Venice began in the 13th century, but it became unpopular in the 18th century when the celebrations had stopped. The carnival was only revived in 1979 and has been commemorated annually ever since. It is probably most famous for its intricate and extravagant masks. Venetian masks are made of either leather, porcelain, or crafted using the original glass technique. The masks in olden times only have simple designs and have a more practical purpose. Venetians use masks to conceal their identities whenever they indulge, because a rigid society prevents them from doing so. Present-day masks are usually applied with gesso and gold leaf and are decorated with gems and feathers. Sometimes, huge decorations accompany the mask that it almost becomes similar to a headdress. There are different styles of masks worn in the carnival. Pick one that suits you. In addition to the beautiful masks, people usually apply black makeup around their eyes to make their eyes look dark and hollow while wearing them to achieve that mystifying and mysterious effect. Different masquerade balls are also thrown during the carnival. You might want to attend one and feel like being transported to the 15th century. If you prefer enjoy touring the city of Venice, it's not a problem either. St. Mark's Square is the heart of all the action in the carnival. Here you can find the fanciest and most extravagant costumes in the Venice Carnival. There are contests being held in search for the best mask. The Festa del Mari is something to look forward to in the carnival. 12 beautiful young women are selected to be the 12 Marias and make their first appearance on the carnival's first day. The Marias are dressed in beautiful gowns and jewels, and they would have a parade all throughout Venice. The 12 Marias make public appearances at masquerades and public events the entire Carnival season. During this time, people would also vote to select the winning Maria. At the end of the Carnival, the winner is announced. The winner will be the angel at the Flight of the Angel, where she will fly on a cable between the top of the Campanile and St. Mark's Square down to a stage at the opposite end of the square, which would happen on the carnival's second day. Even though the carnival is a 2-week festival, it would be an entirely different experience if you've seen the carnival from the beginning till the end. Aside from the fabulous costumes and masks, Venice is a beautiful place to visit. So a trip to the Carnival of Venice would definitely be worthwhile. The carnival is a perfect opportunity to blend in with many people. To wear a mask is highly encouraged. After all, that's one of the highlights of the Venice Carnival. Who knows, your mask might even win as the best mask. It would also be a lot of fun if you get to dress up in Renaissance clothing. After all, you don't get to wear these kinds of clothes every day, so make sure to try. The carnival is also one of the biggest chances to celebrate and indulge before the Lenten season comes, so make the most of this anticipated event. Dia de Muertos. Dia de Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a tradition of honoring the dead originating from Mexico. Dia de Muertos is celebrated every November 1st and 2nd, but sometimes people start the party on the night of October 31st. Although other Catholic nations call November 1 All Saints' Day and November 2 All Souls' Day, and commemorate these 2 days more solemnly, the Mexicans see things differently. It is believed that the gates of heaven open on the night of October 31st, and all spirits of dead people are allowed to be reunited with their loved ones. The Mexican people also believe that their dead loved ones would be insulted with mourning and sadness, which is why they decide to celebrate and be lively on the Day of the Dead instead. Dia de Muertos is different from Halloween because people don't just dress up in costumes and go trick-or-treating. Families would visit their dead loved ones' graves. They would bring candied skulls, chocolates, sweetbreads, and the dead's favorite food and drinks when they were still alive as a way to honor their dead. Families would also bring photos and memorabilia of their deceased to remember them and would usually offer prayers for them. They would also play games and sing songs. The graves are scrubbed clean or weeded out and are also lavishly decorated with different colors of marigold, the flower of the dead. Even though the Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday, its tradition extends to some countries like Guatemala, Brazil, Spain, and Mexican-American communities in the United States. Of course, Dia de Muertos will not be complete without all the skulls and the skeletons cropping up during the celebrations. There are lots of candies and sweets shaped like skulls. There are what we call sugar skulls, the pale white skulls in different sizes with colorful patterns and decorations all over them. They represent dead people's souls, and their names are written on the forehead of the sugar skulls and are offered on the dead person's graves. Sugar skulls are so popular during Dia de Muertos that people dress up looking like skulls and skeletons. What do you do in Dia de Muertos? Join the fun, of course. You might want to look like a sugar skull yourself. It's an opportunity to get creative. Wear a costume that will go with your sugar skull face and watch other people look in admiration or shake in fear. There are also parades on the streets, so you can see a lot of fantastic costumes and frightening sugar skull faces. You could also feast your eyes on the many skull decorations. As long as it's the Day of the Dead, seeing skulls and skeletons is inevitable. Marigold flowers are also all over the place. After all, marigolds are flowers given to the dead. There is an abundance of food, especially sweets. Clearly, this is because these are going to be offered to dead people. But it doesn't mean you can't eat some. But more importantly, we celebrate remembering the true essence of Dia de Muertos. That is to honor the lives of loved ones who have passed away. So have fun, and don't let the frightening skulls get into you. Adventure waits. You now know of the existence of some of the most popular and extravagant festivals in the world. If you love to travel, why not spice up your journey a little by attending these festivals? These celebrations are spread out through the year anyways. It would be impossible to not be able to attend one. It's easy to look up on these festivals now, so if you find something that interests you, why not set up an adventure for yourself or with your friends and loved ones and attend these festivals? It would be a very great learning experience as well, because festivals are part of culture. There are many varieties of festivals. There are cultural festivals, music and art festivals, religious festivals, and so on. Some of them are celebrated in different parts of the world, and some are only celebrated in one or a few places. There is a festival that would surely pique your interest. Prepare for the festival you'd want to attend in advance in order to be sure that you'd be able to make it. Travel with friends or family. The more the merrier, right? So pack your bags, bring your tickets, and go out of your house. Start a new adventure by seeing the world's festivals. Enjoy! The celebration ends here, but the fun is not over. And we still have more festivities to look forward to. So recharge your energy and get ready for another adventure. We'll see you again on Festivals of the World.